Welcome to the Miraculous Mamas podcast. I'm your host, Liz, your doula, and it's no longer Liz Sandoz, it's Liz Presta, because I'm officially a married woman, and I have my miraculous mama with me here today.
Hello.
This is Connie. She gave birth to me 32 years ago.
I did.
And she is in town because Vito and I decided to basically have two weddings. We had our small one in Montana, and then this coming Friday, we have a reception here in Chicago. So she's staying with me for a couple days.
Yep, staying with the newlyweds.
Right? It's not weird
Nothing
at all.
like mom in the house with the newlyweds.
Not weird at all. Don't worry, we still had a quickie yesterday. You were gone, Dad was sleeping. No, it's okay. She gets all embarrassed.
Not really.
But yeah, I know that some people wanted to hear a little bit about the wedding before we bring on our guest. I'm going to be doing an interview later with Meg Boggs, who is absolutely awesome. She's just kind of blown up on social media about body positivity, and because of her openness, she was featured in so many different articles. She went completely global, and she talks on postpartum, and she blogs, and she talks about anti-bullying and just being positive. She is such a positive woman, and she talks about how there's just this expectation to be the perfect mom, and how you have to learn how to meet yourself where you're at. But before we bring her on, we're going to do a little bit of wedding chat.
All right. What do your viewers want to know?
No, just, I don't know about the wedding in Montana. It was cold.
It was cold, but it was so incredibly beautiful. Mm-hmm. If you've never been to Glacier Park in Montana, summer or winter, you need to go.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. And it was everything that we pictured. And we booked everything kind of blindly. So we hadn't been to where we were booking. And everything really just came together.
It did. It was gorgeous.
And the food was good. The music was good.
Mm-hmm. The wedding was very intimate and small, about 60 people, just how you guys wanted it. Yeah. And very personal.
Yeah.
It was really, really,
I think it ended up being about
really
50
special.
people.
Okay.
Plus, then, we adopted Josie. So
we did.
She's our photographer that we've now adopted into our family. And then we had our amazing videographers from Real Love. They came on a train from North Dakota to do the wedding. And then our DJ was Destination DJ. If you're in the Montana area, definitely book him. He was loving life.
Oh, he was super.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just singing along and doing everything. He was great.
And we had it at the Isaac Walton, which is this cute inn. It's very iconic for that area. Just kind of set up in the mountains. So it was perfect.
It was. And most of the guests were like friends of yours, weren't they?
Yeah.
There's some little bit of our family, a little bit of Vito's family, and then a lot of your friends.
Yeah.
And one of her friends has, I think, an amazing story because Kim couldn't. Whoever was going to watch her kids couldn't watch them. Right?
Oh, so the weather, people's flights were getting canceled. So one of my best friends, Kim, her sister Tanya was coming to watch her kids
from Nebraska.
And she was on the flight. They got kicked off the flight basically because the flight got canceled. So she ended up, and she's in Denver. She ended up driving to Las Vegas from Denver to watch my friend Kim's kids so that she could come to the wedding.
I know. That was so precious.
I know. Because it was my friend, and then her husband met her there because he works as a firefighter. So, and this was their first time away, like on a weekend away from the kids in 6 years because their oldest is almost 6.
Yeah.
So they've never had a weekend away together.
Right.
So her sister drove from Denver. Well, technically from Nebraska.
Yeah. Well, and Kim is one of your best friends from high school.
Yeah, I've known her for a long time.
Yeah.
So that was fun. It was really amazing. And how do you feel about having a new son?
It's great.
Yeah?
I've loved Vito since the day I met him.
I know.
Yeah.
He's very lovable.
He is.
How do you feel about your last child being married off?
It's great. I don't have to worry as much about you anymore.
Yeah. You're like, take her. She's your problem now.
Whew. Off my list. Not really. You're always a mama.
Yes.
And you always worry about your kids and always want to know how they're doing. And the one thing I did tell you, Elizabeth, is that when you guys are in Thailand for 3 weeks, you need to stay off the social media.
She told us just to enjoy each other, which is
to
true.
enjoy each other and don't worry about staying in touch with family or anybody. Just once in a while, that's okay. But
Yeah.
So if I text you, which I probably will, just ignore me.
Well, if I'm ignoring you, don't get mad.
I won't.
Yeah, right. Vito will be texting his family, so.
Oh, he said he wouldn't last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
No?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. So we'll see.
But yeah, so.
He'll say, no, I'm just checking in quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so I have a bunch of other family coming in tonight. We're in the process of redoing a few things in our house. Well, I mean, just the bathroom upstairs got redone, which is awesome. I'm so proud of Vito.
But when you do construction, you have a lot of dust and stuff.
Yeah,
and
just
so
cleaning, and we just moved in, so putting things away. So my mom's been doing load of laundry after load of laundry after load of laundry, helping. And Vito's mom came and helped, and my sister got into town and helped, so...
Well, and what listeners might not know is you are the baby in our family. Mm-hmm. And
Vito's the baby in his family.
Yeah, you got 2 babies that got married. We hope you make a lot of babies.
One day.
And so just in our family alone, though, when Vito joined the family, there are 26 of us with just my kids, my grandkids, and great-grandkids.
And spouses.
And spouses, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
just our family alone is big.
And there's going to be 26 people here this weekend. Well, 25. Taylor's not coming.
Yeah.
But, yes, I wanted to have my mom on to chat with you guys a little bit about it. And we'll have another wedding to talk about after the Chicago reception. So that one's almost 300 people, so it's a completely different ballgame.
Total different
That's going to be the big Italian wedding. Well, not wedding, just a party. And
celebrating your wedding.
Beautiful. I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm. But if they haven't seen all the Glacier Park photos on Instagram, they need to go look.
Yeah, our photographer was awesome. Our videographers were amazing, and Glacier Park's amazing.
Yeah, look and like and share.
Mm-hmm.
Glacier Park featured them on their page on Instagram, so that was cool.
I know. And Vito and I are like obsessed with national parks, so we're like, oh, that's so cool. I want to take a second to talk to you guys about something that has made my life so much easier, and that is Handy. Handy is the easy and convenient way to book home cleanings on a schedule that works for you. Compare profiles and read real customer reviews to find the perfect fit for your needs. All pros on Handy are background checked, and you can learn more at handy.com. All Handy's services are backed by the Handy Happiness Guarantee. Over 3 million cleanings have been done on this website, and with Handy's clear upfront pricing, you see what you are going to pay, and you pay securely on the app, so no need to worry about cash or checks. You just go to Handy and you tell them the number of bedrooms and bathrooms in your home and pick the date and time that you'd like the home cleaned. Tell them the cleaning preferences, your priorities, so that the pro knows what is important to you. And Handy will match you with one of their top-rated pros, or you can read real customer reviews and select the pro that you'd love to hire. You loved your cleaner? Add them to your pro team for future bookings. Vito and I just moved into a new house, and it was so easy just to go online and tell them, hey, listen, we have this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms, and we are having all this family come into town this week. So it's so nice just to have the house cleaned. You can also show them the living space prior to whenever they come over, because sometimes you have in your head, oh, this is what my house is like. But then when they see it, they're like, oh, this is way bigger than I thought, or whatever. So just it's easy to go on. The cleaners were awesome. I told them what exactly I really wanted them to focus on. So it's an app that I would definitely recommend. And it makes your life so much easier when that's the last thing that you have to worry about. So I have a special offer for you guys. To try this service out, you can get your first 3-hour cleaning for $39. When you sign up for a plan, visit handy.com/babes and use promo code babes during the checkout. A reoccurring charge, terms and conditions apply. So visit handy.com, that's handy.com, to learn more. So you guys, it's an amazing offer. Your first 3 hours of cleaning for $39 when you sign up for a plan. Visit handy.com/babes and use your promo code Babes. You've been wondering, hey, maybe I need to hire somebody to clean my house. Here's your chance at handy.com/babes and promo code babes. But yeah, so thanks for being on here, Mom.
You're welcome, sweetie. I love you.
I love you too. And we are going to go ahead and dive right into the interview with Meg. All right, guys, I have Meg Boggs here today. She is an amazing mom, an advocate for so many different things that I'm going to let her tell you about. But welcome, Meg. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, of course. Girl, you are in fuego right now. You went global in the media for your postpartum stuff, and I'm so excited that you're here to share that with everyone.
Oh, yay. Yeah, it's been crazy. Like the last probably year. I've been trying to like navigate my way through it all.
Yeah.
But it's been really exciting though to reach so many people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that journey, kind of what started it.
Well, it all started when I got pregnant and I had just gone like through a huge weight loss journey. I had lost like 100 pounds and after being very unhealthy. And so when I got pregnant, I was still like considered plus size, but I was like, I just felt like had a different body, even though it didn't look skinny or anything. I felt strong. And so when I got pregnant, I was like, okay, I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to keep eating healthy and I'm going to work out and it's going to be great. I'm not going to gain more than they recommend. And it all like came back. I gained pretty much every pound back. And my body was just completely different. I felt like I had a body that I didn't even like know anymore. It was just really strange. And I was looking around on the internet and trying to like relate to people. Since I did have like a plus size pregnancy and my bump didn't really look, I guess, like, you know, the bump that you see on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of made me feel like sad. Like I felt alone. I would go to a grocery store or go to a restaurant and I felt like people couldn't tell that I was pregnant and I was just like fat. And so it was kind of discouraging because I wanted to like be proud of my body and feel excited, but I just didn't feel happy.
Yeah.
So it was a weird feeling through my pregnancy. So when I had her, it was another side of the story that kind of brought me down even worse. I'll always remember that moment after I had her, and I had been following like all these Instagram pages about postpartum and what it's like. And I've seen pictures and I was like, I want to share my story too, even though I didn't really have a platform at the time, but I just knew that like I wanted to share that. And so I remember walking into the bathroom after I had her and I opened like my robe, you know, they have that hospital gown thing. I remember opening it up and it was like, I was never pregnant. It was just like the same body from before where I was overweight and unhealthy. And it was just like a fat belly. And I was like, oh my God, like I can't post a picture of this and be like, yeah, I love my postpartum body and I'm going on a journey. I was like, people would make fun of that. They'd be like, are you serious? You're just fat. Like, get over it. So it was really scary for me at the beginning. I didn't decide to do it until I was probably maybe like 4 months postpartum.
Yeah.
When I was like, okay, I'm going to post this picture because I was very, very depressed at the time.
Yeah.
Because my breastfeeding journey did not turn into what I was hoping it would be.
Oh yeah. I was watching some of your videos about that because you have it on your Instagram, kind of the video where you're kind of talking about having to switch to formula.
Yeah. That kind of tore me apart. So it was like those two things together just kind of sent me spiraling. I felt the most alone I think I've ever felt. And I've gone through some dark times, you know, before pregnancy, but that was just like a whole new level. Just entering motherhood and feeling like I was responsible for raising a daughter. But then me, myself was just like a mess. I was like, how am I going to raise her to be like confident and like love herself whenever I'm like just so unhappy with who I am? You know, I feel like I'm just like a failure in my body. I'm a failure because I can't produce milk. And it was a very dark time. And so I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to post the picture, and it is what it is. I'm going to do it because I think about the person I was at the time that was looking for that inspiration to be like, yes, I relate to that and I understand. And I just couldn't find that anywhere.
Right.
And so I was like, well, maybe I can be that person. I'm going to try and be that person. And if it all explodes in my face, then it was worth the shot. And so I posted it, and the response was insane. Like my messages were just overflowing, and people wanted to know more about how I found that confidence. And I was trying to explain, like, it wasn't confidence, you know, it was bravery. It had nothing to do with, oh, I love my body. It had everything to do with, I'm going to do this for the person who is struggling, and being brave for that person. And that person was me that I was doing it for. And then it turned out being for everybody like me. So
that gave me goosebumps.
Yeah. Oh,
that's such an inspiring story, though. I mean, I feel like most people find it hard to be brave in the everyday, you know, but then add on top of that being a new mom and going through this journey of kind of just refiguring out who you are, you know, and that's a lot. So that was very, very brave of you.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll be honest, the backlash I got though it wasn't nearly as strong as like the positive response, but the negative response though, it really did make me question if I wanted to keep doing it. 'Cause all of a sudden people were starting to follow me and like expecting that from me. And I wanted to keep doing it because it felt good for me. And then I knew that it felt good for other people. But I was also getting messages that were like, you need to get over it. Like, you're just fat. Like, let it go. Like, nobody wants to see that. And that actually never stopped. I mean, just this week, which is kind of crazy because the fact that we're talking about it now, because I mean, I get those messages every day that are like, you shouldn't be posting that. Like, that's gross. And this week, and normally what I do is I just delete and block and like,
yeah,
over
absolutely.
It, done. Like, I don't need that. I don't even read it. If I start reading the comment and it's bad, I'm just like, delete. I don't want people seeing that. I don't want to feel that. But this week, somebody commented and they put, you're an overweight pig and you should lose your child. I hope you lose your child. And you should just like kill yourself. And I was like,
that is so horrible.
And it was a woman, and her name was like, it said like mommy. And when I clicked on her page, it was like soon to be mom. And I was just like, I don't understand how anyone could say that to somebody.
No.
And, you know, people on my page started really responding to her, and it was just like, okay, we just need a blog, could be done with it. But I mean, that's the kind of stuff that happens. And that's why people don't want to share their story, and they don't want to be open and like, and because of that sort of response.
Yeah. But people like that, like, you have to realize too, they are miserable with themselves, you know, and they're looking for any reason to feel better or to compare themselves. You know, when you have to go put someone down that you don't even know and you don't know their journey, I mean, that person is not a loving, accepting, good human being, you know. So you can't take what they say, you know, and internalize it, even though it's so hard maybe not to, you know, like those people, you just have to block and delete them and be like, wow, that's a miserable human being.
Yeah. And that's what I have to do. But that one just it just struck me this week because,
well, that's horrible what she said.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a whole new level of something to say. And especially since like, I'm a big mental health advocate because I've been through a lot, and then the postpartum depression and anxiety just kind of fueled that in me to speak up about. But like somebody who doesn't have the strength that I've kind of gotten over the last year or so would see that, and it would just, you know, affect them in a way that could actually change their life or take their life. And so that's why I'm constantly talking about it. And I'm like, I'm showing my medication. I'm like, it's okay if you need to be on medication. It's okay if you're not perfect and you don't have the perfect body. It's okay if you're different. Like, it's okay. And I don't know, like that, it just kind of sent me over this week, and I had to like regroup and be like, it's okay. I'm going to keep posting. And I mean, I have those moments too.
Yeah. Well, I feel like when that happens, I've seen some comments like that before. And, that's when I also have to check my heart, because I get very angry. I'm not a hateful person, but then I'm like, oh, you motherfucker.
I know, I'm the same and it's way. Like I have to like relax and be like, do not respond with hate. Do not respond with hate. Like I have to like literally close my eyes and be like, relax. It's going to be okay. Do not respond with hate.
Right. Well, and it's hard because those types of things do get me fired up, and then I do want to say something, and then it's just, what's the point? Like if you're meeting them on their level, nothing's going to be accomplished.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that is really hard.
Yeah.
But you're very, very strong.
Thanks. I try to be.
Yeah. All right, ladies, you know all about Third Love by now, and I'm going to tell you about it again because it is amazing. You get to find the bra that you love because it fits you so well. Millions of women have used them to find their perfect fit. So you go online and you take your Fit Finder quiz, and there's bras with half cup sizes, different sizes. You literally can find the perfect fit for you. There's more sizes than other brands. They offer more than 70 sizes, and it's so convenient. Skip the trip, find your fit with Third Love's online fit finder. You order, you can try it on at home. No more awkward fitting room experiences. There's over 12 million women who have taken this quiz to date. It's actually fun, and it takes less than a minute to complete. I was really curious about my bra size, so I always knew what I thought it was, but after taking this test, it told me what it was. And did you know that the shape of your boob matters when finding a good fit? Third Love helps you identify your breast size and shape and finds styles that fit your body. It's a 100% fit guarantee. Every customer has 60 days to wear it, wash it, and put it to the test. And if you don't love it, return it, and Third Love will wash it and donate it to a woman in need. Third Love's team of expert fit stylists are dedicated to helping you find that perfect fit, and returns and exchanges are free and easy. I know I talked about fitting right, but that's because most women are wearing the wrong size bra. And we've been wearing bras for how many years, and we're still wearing the wrong size. So go to Third Love, and their bras are also comfort, like so comfortable, and the quality is amazing. It's definitely the most comfortable bra that you'll ever own. The straps won't slip, and they're tagless, so nothing scratching your back. It's lightweight, super thin memory foam cups. And the newest member to the Third Love family is their line of incredibly soft, smooth, and breathable cotton bras. Third Love knows that there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now they're offering our listeners 15% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/babes now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/babes for 15% off today. I know, so some of your stuff then, was it the postpartum stuff that ended up going global?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. So after I posted maybe like a handful of photos where I'm like, I have my shirt lifted and I'm like, this is also postpartum. But I didn't decide until I guess last summer, after I had posted a few, to maybe create like a hashtag or do something that could reach a lot of people in a way that made them feel comfortable to step up as well. Mm-hmm. And so what I ended up doing was reaching out to 20 other moms that were the same kind of Instagram. They were posting pictures. I could tell already that they were very open.
Yeah.
Some of them had never posted a postpartum photo. So I was kind of like trying to figure out who would feel comfortable. I didn't want to make them feel obligated to do it, but I had reached out to a bunch, and then I ended up getting 20 to post with me on one day. So we all kind of looped together. We posted at the same time, and then kind of tagged each other to go through like a loop of photos. Mm-hmm. And everybody was completely different. There were women who had like no marks on their belly at all. Mm-hmm. Some had stretch marks, some had loose skin, some had no loose skin, but they had stretch marks. Some were like me, where it was more fat than just loose skin. I mean, it was everybody that you could imagine. That way, somebody that would kind of stumble on that could actually go through and say, wow, like, I'm not seeing the same thing. I'm seeing different people, and I'm part of that. And so that in itself got a lot of attention. So a lot of people were doing like articles about it, and it just kind of like people were interviewing me about it, and it was just crazy. I was trying to not make it about me, but people kept making it about me, and I didn't want them to make it about me.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be more about like the hashtag itself and the meaning behind it.
So and the hashtag was hashtag this_is_postpartum, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So after that, I was like, oh, what can I do now to make it more about the community and make it about all of the women and not something that's, me, myself. So what I ended up doing the next time was posting a photo that had the date of the next time I was going to be posting something. And it was kind of like an invitation. Like if you've never posted one and you want to share your story, even if it's a photo that's not necessarily like your stomach, you just want to share your story and how you're feeling. You can use that hashtag on this day. And then everybody would be able to scroll through the hashtag and read all kinds of stories. And so that ended up being huge because it wasn't about, oh, come look at my photo. It was about go through the hashtag and see everybody's photos and relate to the story that you can resonate with the most. And so I've done that twice so far. And both times it's been like unreal. I go through it. I actually follow the hashtag and I'm going through it all the time. And I'm just like blown away at the amount of people who are like, this is the first time I've ever opened up about this. And it's like, it gets me like emotional because I know that feeling, when you feel so alone and you're trying to deal with your body and you're trying to deal with just being a mom. And it's hard. That first year is probably the hardest thing you could ever do as a woman.
Well, it's so amazing that you did that because that's something that so many women need to see or hear. Like, even if they're not posting, they can look at that and be like, I'm not alone. Like, there's all these other women and this person feels the way I did. And maybe we don't all look the same, but we've all been through it, Yeah.
Because, you can go to an Instagram page that is saying, oh, we're going to feature different people, but you always kind of see the same kind of person that's being featured. And so it's hard. And so instead of being like a feature account where you pick certain people to feature, it was like, I could just go join it however I want and whenever I want, however many times I want. I don't have to tag a feature account and wait to be featured. Right. That was kind of the idea behind it.
Yeah. That's so amazing. So it's still something that's kind of like ongoing, right?
Yes, always. So you can basically do it anytime.
Yeah. Well, I would encourage any women listening to this who feel brave and want to share that.
Yes, absolutely.
So I want to touch, if it's okay with you, just kind of on your breastfeeding journey.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of women can relate to that. And one thing that I've heard over and over and over from women is the guilt that they've felt when they've had to formula feed.
Oh my gosh. That is probably the whole sum of what I went through is that switch. Because my journey started with her not latching. She didn't latch at the hospital and they just kind of said, oh, she'll latch by the time you get home. And I was like, okay. And so I got home and then once again, she wasn't latching. And it was a struggle. I mean, I tried every single day, every single time she was trying to feed. And then I did that for 3 months. I was pumping everything. I was like, I refuse to give her formula. Everybody says it's so bad and I'm not going to be the mom that is pulling out formula all the time. And so, I mean, I was pumping until like my nipples literally were like bleeding and cracked. And I was crying as I was pumping because it just hurt so bad. And my husband was just like, you don't have to do that. Like, we can give her formula. It's going to be okay. And I'm like, and I would yell, like, do not say the F word. Like, because I felt like I was brainwashed,
Well, there kind of almost is though. I mean, there's That's why I love the slogan best fed. It's whatever's best for you, because there's also some people who can produce milk, but they just don't enjoy that experience at all. It actually drains them and takes like they're actually a better mom if they can just use formula. So there's so many different reasons why, people end up using formula. Sometimes it's you wanted to and, it didn't work out, and that sucks, but guess what? Your baby's being fed. She's healthy, and you still have to be so proud of your body and what it's done.
Yeah. I mean, you gave birth.
Right. You grew a human inside of you and then brought it into the world. Right.
Like, that's pretty badass.
And
I'm
it's great.
Just saying.
Right. Exactly. And it's great that, guess what? There's food in this world for her, whether it comes from you or from formula. Like, she's going to be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to take a break to talk about choosing a product that's better than the rest. Just one label matters, and it's Brandless. Brandless believes in making better products more affordable and accessible to everyone. Why sift through hundreds of brands at the big box stores only to pay a premium for disappointing quality? Brandless cuts out the middleman to deliver just what matters. There's more options you care about, like high quality and with pronounceable ingredients, all at simple, fair prices. Brandless offers better options for things that you care about. They have organic, fair trade, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan food items, bakeware made of professional-grade aluminized steel made by family-owned companies here in the USA, premium diapers, organic baby foods, and protein-first pet treats, cruelty-free beauty and personal care without the 400-plus questionable ingredients in other brands. I'm actually right now obsessed with their hand cream. They have the citrus hand cream that is amazing, and I love it. I also use their organic panty liners. Panty liners have way more things in it than you guys even know, and that's why I love that they have organic ones. And Brandless gives back, and it gives you a better way for you to join them in that journey, because every time you check out at Brandless, they donate a meal to someone facing hunger. They provide millions of meals a year this way through their partnership with Feeding America, which is the nation's largest domestic hunger relief organization. Right now, listeners can receive free shipping on orders of $48 or more at Brandless. Go to brandless.com/babes to see my favorites and receive free shipping on orders of $48 or more. Don't wait a second longer. Go to brandless.com/babes to see my favorites and receive free shipping on orders over $48 or more. Start enjoying high quality products that you deserve today.
And then the other thing is, like, everything I was reading was always talking about the science and how technically, scientifically, breast milk is just so much better. And so if you feed your baby formula, it's just not the same. And so that was like always triggering in my head. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to give her the best that's out there. And so that was like really, really hard for me to handle. And so when 3 months hit and I was still doing the pumping game and just terrorizing myself over this, she randomly latched, like out of nowhere.
Oh, wow.
I have no idea what I did differently. I mean, I really didn't change anything. It was the same thing. I would like try and latch her, and then it would be like, nope. And so I'd give her the bottle of my pumped milk. But one day she just latched on, and I was like, oh my God. Like, and I just was like, I was in my bed, like half naked and just like a mess. And she latched, and I just remember bawling my eyes out. I was like sobbing as she was like drinking milk from my breast. I was like, what is life right now? I cannot believe this. I actually snapped a photo when that happened. Like, I picked up my phone, I just snapped it real quick, and I've posted that photo before, and I can barely look at that because I remember that feeling when it happened. And I was like, this is so exciting. Like, I'm going to get to finally breastfeed her. And it was like, I remember for a moment, I felt like I was doing something right for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, finally, I'm being a good mom for once.
Wow.
And so I was like celebrating myself, and it was so good. And that whole next month we were breastfeeding, and I was like, I'm such a good mom. I feel so proud of myself, my body. And then it just kind of took a sharp turn about a month later, when my milk just sort of disappeared.
Oh, wow.
Like I don't know what happened. It just kind of dried up on me. And I remember trying to continue breastfeeding her, and she would start crying, and I would try like squeezing to see if anything was coming out. And I was no longer feeling any sort of letdowns.
Wow.
So it's like, it just changed, and it just disappeared. And I had 3 bottles, or not 3 bottles, 3, what do you call them? Bags. The 3 frozen
the
bags.
milk bags.
I don't even know what they're called because I didn't get to use them.
Yeah.
So I had 3 of them in the freezer. That's all I had. Like, that was my backup. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I cannot use those 3 bags. Like, because then it's over. It's over and done with.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the story. And I can't live with that. Like, I can't do it. And so my husband was like, well, we have to give her formula. Like, she has to eat.
Right.
And the moment that I gave her her first bottle of formula, I was back to that old kind of mindset of, I'm a horrible mom. Like, I cannot believe I'm having to give her formula right now. Like, my body is the worst. Like, why me? Why does this happen to me? Why do other people get to breastfeed and have that beautiful journey? And I'm stuck here with bleeding, ripped up nipples and no breast milk and a formula bottle. Like, I just didn't feel like it was fair, you know? And the guilt just kind of ate me alive. I mean, I would think about it day and night. I remember just bawling my eyes out in the shower and just wondering, like why does this have to be my story? Why can't I have the positive story? So as we continued giving her the formula, I ended up deciding that and it had been months, like probably like 5 or 6 months with that formula milk in the freezer until
Oh, wait. So it was like 5 or 6 months you left that milk in the freezer. That's what you're saying. And she's been taking formula. Okay.
And she was on formula. I couldn't, even opening the freezer and seeing it there, I would start crying.
Oh, man.
And it's crazy how it just affects you like that. But I was like, I need to do something special because I don't feel like I'm ever going to heal or get over this. And I would tell my husband, like, I know it sounds dramatic and I sound like I'm being crazy, but I need to make this special to let go of those 3 bags. And so I made 2 decisions. I decided to use a little bit of it to make a breast milk ring and necklace because, you know, they can do that, which is really
I didn't know that.
Cool.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So I mailed off like an ounce of the milk to this company. They're called Sacred Legacy Arts. And they ended up making that milk into jewelry. So like into a stone.
Wow.
That's
so cool.
I know. And so I felt like that was what would make me feel good to like have that little piece of milk with me at all time because I'm not actually ever letting it go. It's still kind of with me. Some people may think it's weird. Some people may love it, but for me, it made sense.
Right.
And it was just neat that they had that option. The other thing I ended up doing was using the rest of the milk, since I couldn't give it to her because it had been quite a while that it had been frozen. And I just didn't feel comfortable with that. And I didn't feel emotionally like I could do that and know that it was the last time. Because the last time actually that she had my milk was breastfeeding. And I remember that moment.
Yeah.
So I wanted that to be the last moment that she drank it. So what I ended up doing with the rest of the milk was a milk bath. And it was like super simple. I just kind of put the rest of the milk like in a little tub that I got at like Home Depot, I think. And I just gave her a little bath in it. And I had the camera there. I had my mom just snap a couple pictures of us. And I just remember there was a moment, and I have the picture. I've posted this picture before, where she was sitting there and she looked up at me and like the tear was like rolling down my cheek. Cause I just remember being like, this is the best. Like, I'm so glad I'm doing this right now. And she was little at the time, you know, she could barely sit up. So I kind of had to help her a little bit. And she lifted her hand up, her tiny little hand, and she placed it right on my boob. And she just like locked eyes with me. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot right now.
Wow.
It was the most special moment for me. And my mom actually got that picture. So that picture is like, oh, I just love it so much. But it's like she knew, like, it's going to be okay, Mom. Like, you're going to be okay. And it was amazing. And I've done blog posts for both of those things. I did one for the jewelry, and then I did one with my actual experience with the milk bath. So it's been quite a journey. And I actually also wrote a letter to my boobs.
Oh, sorry. That's so awesome.
Yeah. I was like, one day I'm just going to sit down, because I love to write. It's so therapeutic for me. Anytime I'm feeling anything, I just write it out, even if it makes no sense. And that's what I did. I just wrote a letter, like basically, dear boobs.
Right.
And I wrote exactly how I was feeling. And after I read the letter, I was like, oh, that's interesting how my mind works, because it started off very negative. Like, I hate you so much.
Right.
Like, I'm so disappointed in you. But the more I started writing and writing and writing, you just see like the transition into, I'm sorry, for treating you that way, for putting you through that, and not appreciating the fact that you gave us an entire month. Some people don't even get that month.
Right.
And you gave me that month. And thank you, for everything that you've done. And I'm sorry that I didn't appreciate you more.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how the letter just kind of, it helped me process those emotions.
Absolutely. All right, I want to take a minute to talk to you guys about something that is very helpful that is out there for people who are struggling with depression or stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, family conflicts, anger, grief, all these different issues. You are not alone. And these are all things that can interfere with your happiness or prevent you from achieving your goals. Well, BetterHelp online counseling is there for you. You connect with a professional counselor in a safe and private online environment, so it's really convenient. Everything that you share is confidential with them, and if you're not happy with your counselor for any reason, you can request a new one. There's over 3,000 U.S. licensed therapists across 50 states available worldwide. You can receive this counseling through text, chat, phone, video, and you start communicating within 24 hours. It's available on your desktop, on your phone. You can schedule your video sessions. And there's so many people on there that have such a broad expertise in the network that you may not be able to find locally in your community. And there's also financial aid that's available for those who qualify. It's secure, it's convenient, it's very professional, it's affordable, and it's something that everybody goes through these seasons of life, and you don't have to go through alone. Best of all, it's a truly affordable option. Babes and Babies podcast listeners get 10% off your first month with the discount code BABIES. So why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/babies and simply fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor that you'll love. That's betterhelp.com/babies. You're so amazing for being so open with all of this. Like, it's hard for a lot of women to share their struggles because motherhood is so hard and you're supposed to have it all handled, and just, you're so open in sharing your journey and everything that you went through with the breastfeeding stuff and how you overcame it. And I feel like you just left so much advice for the women listening who are like, wow, like, I felt that way. Oh, cool. I didn't know I could do this. Or maybe I should write a letter to my breasts,
Yeah, it's actually really helpful. I suggest everybody try.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that is
for
so
me,
amazing.
just like being open, I've never been open until I became a mom. I was actually like, in person, I'm actually very quiet and I don't really open up much. I'm usually the person that's like on the sideline, like not being part of the conversation. And it wasn't until I had her that I was like, I just got this like fire in me. I guess it's from her, from just knowing that she deserves a mom who is going to speak up for her and be the voice. And so that's just kind of what fuels me to open up and share. And I just kind of always think about her in the back of my mind, that she deserves that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's so amazing. I mean, that is, our kids do look up to us so much, right? I remember when I was a little girl, I looked up to my older sisters, and you don't realize how much information that they retain watching you.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I know she's still so young, but
yeah, but being that example,
I need to get comfortable with it and kind of grow, myself.
right? That's absolutely amazing. So you also, so your articles or things were posted about you in Romper and Health and Pop Sugar. And I was looking at some of the stuff, and you were saying that you're also an advocate for anti-bullying and mental health, and you promote it with body positive imagery.
Yes. It all kind of stems back to my childhood. I was bullied constantly, and it always seemed to be about what I looked like, whether the fact that I had glasses or because I had rolls on my belly. It always seemed like it was about my body and my outer appearance. Like nobody ever, bullied me about the person that I am. It was always about the physical appearance. And so that's kind of what I try and focus on, that people that look different, it doesn't mean anything about who they are as a person. And so that's something that I'm just trying to constantly talk about and open the conversation about, because it's just, and like we were saying earlier about the comment, like you don't know anybody's journey based on a glance at them.
Right.
Like you have no idea what they've been through. And even somebody who is, who appears to have it together, who looks like they have the perfect hair and the perfect body and the perfect house, like you still have no idea. And it's not just about the person who is overweight or who is disabled. It's not just about those people. It's about everybody.
Right.
Like everybody is included in that. I have lots of friends who are on the thinner side and we look very different. And I've opened up to them about this topic, and they have some hard struggles that they have opened up to me about. And you would never know that looking at them, talking to them, seeing them in a photo. You would just assume, roll your eyes, they have it together. And in reality, they absolutely don't. And so it's just more about like not judging somebody, based on what you see. You just never know. And it's a dangerous place to start making any sort of open comments or judgments, because the mental aspect of it, it's hard for me to put into words sometimes because I get very emotional about it. Because I do know people who have taken their lives because of bullying, and it's just so, gosh, it's a heavy topic.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's hard for me.
No, it's okay. We don't have to dive too deep into it. I know that you're an advocate for it, which is awesome, because bullying is something that I have no tolerance for. And that's also where I feel like I probably carry a lot of hatred in my heart for, is when people are bullying others. Because you don't know what that other person is going through. And you may have just said something that took it to the next level. You don't know their story at all. And I think that the anti-bullying campaigns out there are absolutely awesome. I feel like kids, they don't realize the weight of their words. They're just being little a-holes, and it's like they don't realize that they are actually, like, when you're older, there's things that you remember were said to you when you were little. I remember somebody saying a comment to me in 4th grade that made me feel super insecure about something, that I had never even noticed about myself before until this person said it to me. It doesn't hurt me anymore, but I still remember it.
It sticks with you.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's awesome that you're sticking up for that as well. You have so many different, you're like just helping save the world on so many different levels here.
Oh my God. I'm just trying to be a voice for people that don't have the courage to speak up.
Yeah. And that's amazing that you're doing that. I mean, I'm sure there's still going to be so many women who may not have the courage, but they can be like, well, she's doing it, you know, like maybe I don't have to say it because she said it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was wondering if you would just share your birth story with us with Macy.
Oh yeah.
I like to call this segment "Whoop, there it is," but it's
love that.
womb. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was talking to you about it.
That's so good. Like I literally, like when you told me that, I literally like busted out laughing. I was like, that is perfection.
Yes. Whoop, there it is.
Oh my God.
The birth story segment, but just kind of tell us a little bit about how you brought Macy into this world.
Okay, so I have a whole blog post on it, but let me try and sum it up for you. So it was about in the middle of the afternoon when I realized like I kept feeling like I was peeing a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I went out and told my mom because I'm staying with them, and I'm like, Mom, I think I just like peed a little bit. And she was like, oh my God, like what? She like threw her Cheetos down at the ground. And
Oh my
like,
gosh.
what's happening?
But now I'm scared because I feel like I accidentally sometimes pee all the time. And I'm so nervous to have kids because
I still pee.
Yeah, but did you do that before kids?
No.
Yeah, see, that's my point. Like, I'm just going to be peeing all the time.
No, but that's why you have to wear those pee-proof undies.
No.
Like, I have those, and they're
okay.
like the best.
I'm writing this down. I've never even heard of those.
Yes, they're the best.
Pee-proof undies.
I wear them to work out because if I don't wear them when I work out, it's like I will pee myself. So amazing. It's just part of it now.
Okay, anyways, Cheetos thrown on the ground.
And so she's like, okay, well, was it a lot? Like, what's happening? And I said, well, no, it was just like a little bit. And so she was like, well, just wait then. Just wait a second. And so maybe like the next 2 hours, maybe it happened like 2 more times, a little bit. And I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. And I just remember going into the bathroom and I took a shower and I got out of the shower and I had already dried off. I had the towel wrapped around me and I'm like standing at the sink and all of a sudden I feel like a lot of trickling going down.
Yeah.
And I look down and I'm like, yeah, something bad just happened. Like, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
No, something good just happened.
Yeah, but at the time I was like, I don't want this to happen right now. I'm so scared. And I was only 38 weeks. So, I mean, it wasn't like I was early, but I wasn't due yet. So it was like that moment. And so we ended up going to the hospital after I called my doctor and they're like, well, go ahead and come in so we can check if your water did break. Since it wasn't like a lot, but it was enough to happen little by little. And sure enough, my water had broke and they were like, all right, we're doing this. And I'm like, oh my God, are we really? And so they get me all set up in the room. And I remember seeing the whiteboard on the wall that's like, happy birthday, Macy. I was like, oh my gosh. It was like when it hit me like, oh my gosh, it's her birthday. And so they started waiting to see if my contractions were going to start. And they never did. And so they asked me, can we go ahead and start Pitocin? We're going to need to. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. So they started the Pitocin and it had been maybe a few hours and still like my contractions were, I mean, I didn't feel them. I just could see them on the monitor. And so the whole night kind of was pretty boring. I was just kind of laying there watching horrible hospital channels. And eventually the doctor comes in and it's like, since your water did break already, we are going to need to make a decision if you want to continue the Pitocin all night and see what happens, or we could do something called like a double Foley balloon. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. Can you elaborate that? And she was like, well, basically, we take this balloon and we put it up your cervix and we fill it with like fluid so it expands you.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, does it hurt? And she's like, it's just a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I'm like, okay, so it's just a little uncomfortable. Okay, I can probably do that then. She's like, yeah, and we'll just leave it in for like, maybe like a couple hours and just go from there. I'm like, okay, great, let's do it then. And so they do the Foley balloon and I'm like, this is a little bit more than uncomfortable because
Mm-hmm.
it felt like, the only way I can describe it is that it felt like a giant, like, dry tampon.
Yeah.
Like, that was really the only thing that I could describe it as.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just, like, sitting there and I'm like, okay. And then I think maybe it was that combined with the Pitocin that I started feeling the contractions more. And then it just didn't help that was uncomfortable down there at the same time. And so I'm like, okay, this does not feel good. And I had this like whole mindset of like, I'm not going to get an epidural. I want to try it natural and just see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of in the back of my mind. But I ended up having the Foley balloon in there until I got it in probably around 9 at night. And they didn't take it out until like 8 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So my mom was like feeding me ice chips all night long. Like, it's going to be okay. And I'm like, no, it's not going to be okay.
Yeah.
I was freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally they take it out and they're like, oh, okay, good. You're about 6 centimeters. I'm like, what? That's it? I thought it was going to be more than that.
6 is great though.
She so promised me 8. So I was kind of like, but she was like, well, it might shrink down just a little bit over the next couple hours, but we'll see what happens. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get through this. But around that time, I mean, I had been in labor now for maybe like, by the time it was like mid-afternoon, it was almost 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like really struggling. I remember like I couldn't really see anything, and it was really hard for me at that time. So I was like, you know what? I think I need to get the epidural. I'm not saying that I'm a quitter. I'm saying that I know what is right for my body right now.
Absolutely.
And I need that epidural. And I did not feel bad about it at all. I got the epidural and I just felt so much better because I could relax. I could actually have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got this thing called like a peanut ball.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know what that was at the time, but they were like, we're going to put it in between your knees and then flip you every 30 minutes.
Yep.
And I'm like, whatever you need to do, let's just keep it going. And so that's what they did. They put the peanut ball between my knees and they flipped me every 30 minutes. And at that time, I remember being like, I'm so hungry right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can only have ice chips. And I'm like, I don't want any more ice chips.
Wait, did you eat before you left for the hospital?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man. I always tell people that. I'm like, before you go, like, make yourself a sandwich, do something you need to eat, because when you get there, they may not let you.
Now I know that. Next time I'm gonna eat a lot before I go.
Yeah.
And fill my belly, because
labor's a long thing and it's tough. Like you need energy for it.
Seriously. And so I got, the peanut ball. We did that, and out of nowhere, I remember like telling my mom, like, Mom, I think something's wrong. Like, because I'm starting to feel like this pressure, like it starts on the top of my belly and then it like pushes down. And she's like, you're not supposed to be feeling anything right now. I'm like, well, I just feel like this like kind of pressure. It starts at the top of my belly, but it kind of stops around my belly button. And she was like, okay, well, I'll when the doctor comes back in, I'll let them know. But it was like within 15 minutes. The doctor hadn't come back in, but within about like 15 minutes. I mean, it was like, I could really feel it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I think my epidural is wearing off. I thought it in my mind, but I did not tell my mom because I was like, I just don't know what's happening right now. And I was like really hungry still. So my mind was not clear. But they sat me up. And so I'm sitting there and they're like, okay, now we call this, I think they called it like bearing down or something. So I'm sitting there. And I started really feeling them. And I started crying. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And so they brought the guy in to
anesthesiologist?
Something like, I think so.
The epidural guy?
Blurry. Yes, epidural guy.
Yeah.
So he comes in and I can tell that he has a new bag. And I remember looking back and the bag was like almost empty. And I was like, I wonder if that's what's going on. I'm like thinking all these things in my head. Like, that had to have been the reason that I'm starting to feel them. But the next like hour I do that and I'm sitting there and they eventually lay me back down and they're like, okay, we're going to give one push. So like my husband grabs one knee, my mom grabs the other knee, and they're like, all right, just give me a push. And they tell me like how to do it. I'm like, I should have gone to a class. And I'm sure a class would be helpful. But so I ended up doing that, and they were like, okay, we're going to have to come back and get the room set up. And this is like the most interesting part of it, because I remember being like, okay, they're going to come back in and maybe like just have like a pair of gloves on or something. That's what they mean by getting ready.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, well, what is it?
It's like a Dexter lab in there.
I was like, what is happening? And I was like, my eyes were like so big. Like, they had all these, like, they were bringing in all these tools and trays, and like, it was just all very overwhelming for me at that time. I was like, okay, it's about to get real.
Yeah.
And so once everything was set up, she was just like, all right, I want you to give me, you know, a good push right now. And so I give one push, and she's like, okay, that's great. We're going to do it one more time. I give a second push. She's like, okay, I can see the head. We're good. All you gotta give me is just one more push. And so in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is going to be the best push I've ever given. And so I probably should have like calmed down on the third push, because she was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, relax a little bit. Don't push so hard. So I'm like, I don't care what you say. I'm just like pushing with everything that I have. And at that moment was really funny, because she's like, oh my gosh, she's got a head of full blonde hair. And I was like, blonde hair?
Like, what?
Like, what in the world? And everybody's like laughing, and I'm just like, my glasses are completely fogged, so I can't see. And I'm like, really? Blonde hair? And so she comes out, and they put her on my belly, and I can't see because my glasses are fogged. And the first thing I said was, oh my God, is she blonde? And my mom's like, she was joking.
Oh my God.
It's okay. I'm like, I still love her. She's the best. And I'm just like crying.
Yeah.
And it was like the best moment. And I will say this though, within probably an hour, once they took her to the NICU for a little bit, she did struggle a little bit with crying.
Yeah.
But I like ate so much Whataburger after that, and it was probably like the best meal I've ever had. Like, after birth meal is the best meal ever.
Yeah, that's also something to plan, but you might change your mind when you're in it, because I remember one of my clients, I was at her birth, and afterwards her husband brought her, it was some burger place, it was some wing place, and it was something else. He brought her like 3 because she was like, I want all of it.
Oh my God. I believe it though. When I was done with the Whataburger, I was like, I could have steak right now too. And my husband was like, relax, like we'll get you it tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
But we ended up bringing her home that 2 days later, I think, because she ended up being okay with her lungs and everything. So we brought her home, and we had her appointment the next day. And it turned out, because of the whole breastfeeding thing where she wasn't really getting much of anything, and I didn't give her formula. So we took her to the doctor, and he's like, ooh, she's a little yellow. And so they did the testing, and she ended up having really high levels. Yeah. Oh. So we had to admit her to the hospital for about 3 days, and she was under the blue lights. And that was like the beginning of the breastfeeding dilemma that I went through. Since we were in the NICU with her, and my ankles were like tree trunks.
Oh,
they were so swollen, like I could barely walk around. And that's where I actually learned how to pump, was at the hospital. Yeah, yeah, that's where they showed me how to set it up. And
that's awesome.
Yeah,
but
she ended up being good.
How old is Macy now?
She's 15 months. Yeah, so she just started walking this month. It's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's been exciting up in this house.
Yeah. Are you having to chase her around a lot more?
Oh yeah. I mean, she's just constantly like everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember when I could go to the bathroom and put her in the DockATot and we'd be good.
Right.
And now I'm like, oh, this is chaos. I can't even go to the bathroom.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, there's ways, maybe. I don't know.
She's still in the crib, so normally I'll like go put her in the crib for a second while I go to the bathroom, and she's just like yelling, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I love going to the bathroom while my child screams.
Right. Perfect. No pressure at all.
Right. Let me just do this real quick.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and for sharing. And you're just a powerhouse, and you're spreading such an important message and supporting so many women through doing that, like allowing yourself to be the vessel that's coming through when women don't feel like they can say it for themselves.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you
so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for sharing your story, your journey, what you're doing, Macy's birth story. And then if people want to follow you, where can they find you at?
My main is Instagram, and it's at meg.boggs. I also have a Facebook, which is Meg Boggs Blog. Mm-hmm. And then my website, which is the entire blog, is just megboggs.com.
And it's Boggs with 2 G's.
2 G's. Boggs. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today, and for being so open and sharing your journey.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Of course. I will talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, man. Hearing Meg's story is absolutely inspirational, and I feel like everyone can relate to at least one part of that. Everyone has either been bullied or dealt with a little bit of depression, or if you're a mom, just the struggle of breastfeeding and your body postpartum. I feel like there was so many tidbits of wisdom in there. And she just has an awesome community with her. This is postpartum, that hashtag that we shared earlier. So if you want to be a part of that, it's hashtag this_is_postpartum. And you can just look that up and get so much more inspiration if you're feeling like you want to share your story or reach out. It's just such an awesome movement. And I'm so grateful for these amazing women being so brave and sharing their journeys, to normalize these things, to be like, hey, listen, like if you feel this way, you're not the only one. So I'm just so appreciative of Meg coming on today. I can't wait for you guys to hear this episode, and don't forget to follow us, rate it, leave us a comment, and share this. I know that there's something in this podcast for everyone, so don't forget to share it, and just love you guys so much. See you next week.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.